All right, gang, I'm here to report to you on the latest naughty X-rated fragrance from Tom Ford. This is one that I've been anticipating. It's called Figue Érotique. I'm going to do an unboxing, unpacking for you and let you know what my thoughts are on this. So this comes 2 years, almost 2 years after the last naughty fragrance, Vanilla Sex, which has been quite a polarizing fragrance. But this is after multiple X-rated fragrances, of course. The original naughty fragrance from the house, fabulous 2017 launch. Then they did Lost Cherry in 2018, Rose Prick in 2020. They also did Bitter Peach in 2020 and Vanilla Sex in 2023. I hope I'm not missing anything. I'm not remembering everything correctly. Sometimes the names might come off a bit weird, that I might think it's one of the naughty fragrances. But I think this is the entire lot of the X-rated fragrances. And of course, now we have Figue Érotique. I reported on this fragrance, and also I've reported on Orange Taormina. So that hasn't launched yet. It was slated to launch in June of this year, but it never did. But I spoke to a few people, and I hear it's coming soon. So probably sometime next year for spring and summer. But I feel like also Fig is more of a summery note. So I'm looking forward to smelling this for the first time on camera and let you know what my thoughts are on it. It is once again part of the private blend collection and also part of the higher end, high-priced private blend collection. This is a 50 ml bottle. It's $405. It's considered a citrus fruity from what I gathered from the notes breakdown. It might kind of go into the woody, maybe a bit green, maybe a bit floral, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to read to you all of the information that I could gather on this. But yeah, 50 ml, $405. It's a unisex offering, eau de parfum concentration, and a brand new Tom Ford just before the end of the year. So the notes breakdown for Figue Érotique, it says Vert de Bergamot, there's palm sugar, fig leaf accord, Cadota fig accord. So the Cadota fig accord apparently is salty and floral, and Muscovado accord. So Muscovado is a type of sugar that's kind of molassesy flavored. This is what I gathered real quickly. So they're creating this accord. So the fact that they have this sugary note in here, it's reminding me that it's going to be something on the sweet side. But they do mention it's a citrus fruity fragrance. And they also mention the fig leaves in addition to the Cadota fig accord, which according to the notes, it's salty and floral. So a little info from the website. So ripe bergamot, palm sugar, fig leaf accord are mentioned as keynotes. The scent type, it's a fresh, fruity, and citrus fragrance. The fragrance family is considered fresh. The description, it says a citrus and fruity fragrance that captures the arc of the fig. It opens with the exhilarating green freshness of Vert de Bergamot and fig leaf accord, then floods the senses with the resinous, honeyed nectar of Tom Ford's exclusive Cadota fig accord, a salty and floral note. Muscovado accord, a scent of dark, indulgent sugar with subtle hints of spice rounds out the scent. This fruity scent with citrus tones evokes the exquisite moment before a fig bursts. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm a big lover of figs, being from the Mediterranean, loving the flavor of figs and also loving the smell of the figs. So fig fragrances generally tend to be some of my favorite types of fragrances, but I mostly like to wear them when it's warmer outside, but there's no rules, obviously. They just smell a little better because for me, when I'm around the tree, a fig tree in the summertime when it's hot and the tree's been baking, that's when you get the most fragrance off of the tree. Most of the time it's green because it is a green, smelling tree. It's a bit dusty and powdery as well, but you do pick up the fruits if the fruits have been ripening on the trees themselves. So I connect with this fruit, so I'm always looking forward to it. I think this is the first time Tom Ford has launched a fig fragrance. So let's go ahead and open it up and dig into this and see what it's all about. But before I spritz this on, I'm going to read a little bit more info, but let me show you this bottle because there is information about the bottle as well. So it's a kind of a violet purple colored, dark, almost like the color of wine, like drinking wine, maybe violet, wine, maroon, purple, all that comes to mind with this one. So there you go. And it says The Figue Érotique glass bottle and plaque evoke the dark, exquisite richness of a ripe fig. Pale violet accents contrast with the deep, jewel-like interior, inspired by the muscovado accord that coats the fruit with an erotic sweetness. About the fragrance, an uninhibited study of pleasure. The irresistible pull of the fig lies in its secrecy, a fruit that dually reveals and conceals. A frisson of stimulating green facets and heated resins ignite Tom Ford's exclusive Cadota fig accord in sublime satisfaction to a new amber fruity dimension. So now they're mentioning the word amber, which they haven't mentioned yet. So because they're claiming that it's part of the fresh family, fresh, citrus, and fruity is what it's, being mentioned. And then all of a sudden the amber comes in. So this most likely settles to an ambery experience. So if you've got your nose on Figue Érotique, let me know what your thoughts are. Do add a comment below. Let's go right in. Also, let me know if you like Tom Ford's X-rated fragrances. I actually have a video on the entire collection of X-rated fragrances from Tom Ford up until, well, before Vanilla Sex launch. So if you want to find out more about those fragrances, go and search for that video. I am smelling this one. I'm not a little uncertain about it. So it's quite green up top. Actually, it's developing quite lovely. It's got a little bit of an indie edge. I've smelled some indie artisanal fragrances that are green fig leaning, and I'm picking up some of that greenness here with this. It's interesting also. I wonder who the perfumer on this is. I visited Givaudan in Paris and also Givaudan in New York City. So in Paris, I remember smelling the greenness of the fig when I was there in their lab. But I don't know if this is it smelled sort of like this green bitterness up top. So I wonder if this is a perfumer there. I'm not 100% sure. When I was a bit friendly with one of the past Tom Ford or Estee Lauder associates that came to Neiman Marcus, I'd ask them about the perfumers, and they would mention that Tom Ford doesn't report the perfumers up until like months into the launch of the fragrance, apparently. So when Vanilla Sex launched, they didn't have the name of the perfumer until much later. And then I actually met that perfumer on my visit in Paris. It was Nathalie Gracia-Chetto. But this is kind of different. It doesn't... There's a side to it that I'm not appreciating, that green bitterness, but a bit more of a sexy sweet side on the other side of this that I'm liking. So that sexy sweet side is trying to creep out of the dark green bitterness of, I'm assuming, is the fig note, the fig leaf note. And it's making me uncertain if I really like what I'm smelling or not, if that makes sense. But it's going to require, I mean, what's on the other side of that greenness smells really fantastic. But that green bitterness, the dark muted green bitterness, is not something I'm appreciating. But the thing is, since it's sprayed and to now, it's gotten better and better. But now I'm exposed to more of the sweet side, but there is the lingering touches of that green bitter side of the fig. I have to say, I think this is not necessarily a very mass market fragrance. Tom Ford being a designer, I think this smells a bit more artisanal or indie because of that green bitter fig note that they're using in here. All right, I'm going to spritz this on. I'm going to spray some on this side as well. Well, definitely smells better on my skin. But also it smells softer on my skin. It doesn't have the loudness that's on the strip. Wow, it smells way too gourmand on my skin. Like really gourmand. I can see the salty side for sure. There's definitely a salty edge about it. And salty in a way that's not marine, thankfully. The saltiness kind of cuts through the sweetness, but there's quite a bit of sweetness. So the last time Tom Ford launched one of the X-rated fragrances, it was an instant love with Vanilla Sex. This one, I have to try a couple more times if I'm going to end up enjoying it. It's not like a wow right away. And I don't know if you guys remember that Old Navy fragrance, Salt and Fig or something. It's been a while since I have a bottle somewhere here that I've kept. I'm not saying this smells like it, but the idea is acting a bit like that. I mean, this is a lot more complex compared to that, which was a very simplistic fragrance. That one also was not so super fruity, just has a fruitiness about it. But also I'm picking up something honeyed. And I think it's the Muscovado Accord, because it did say something molassesy. I read online. It wasn't with the description of the fragrance. I looked up Muscovado, and it's a type of sugar that has these molassesy characteristics because it's kind of dark and brown. So maybe perhaps that's what's giving me this kind of honeyed sweetness, but also spicy. I think this will grow on me, but this is not a love at first sniff, honestly. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, that's usually how I am with people. When I first meet them, I have to figure them out to really see if I connect with them. This one is like that. But sometimes I connect with people right away, just like I connected with Vanilla Sex, because I loved everything about it. But I don't understand that fragrance has become so polarizing. In comparison to all of the X-rated fragrances from Tom Ford. And I'm not saying this is like super X-rated, but there are some really naughty fragrances in the collection. If you look up what those meanings are. I think the most popular should be or is Lost Cherry next to Fabulous. In fact, it might actually be reversed, because I think for a while it was Fabulous, but now it's Lost Cherry. I'm not sure how Bitter Peach is doing. I'm not sure how Rose Prick is doing. And also, I'm not sure how Vanilla Sex is doing as well. I don't know. But let me know if you guys are fans of those fragrances. Let me know if you're curious to try Figue Érotique. Still not sure about it. I think this will grow on me for sure. I like some of the characteristics of this. It's just that initial blast of the fig, which honestly also, it's not as prominent on my skin. It's there more blended, whereas on the strip, it was like the first thing I noticed, and it was a smell I wasn't super clicking with. I'm going to spray one more time on this hand too, on this side of the hand. Yeah, it is there. But I think my nose is adapting to it, and it's not bothering me as much. So this is a more of an adventurous fragrance. This will grow on me for sure. I don't think I've been a big fan of Fabulous. That was probably one of my least favorite. I liked it. I just wasn't think it was super fabulous. I enjoyed Lost Cherry. Lost Cherry was also, I mean, it's a fragrance that obviously you know, was inspiring so many other fragrances to be created. The cherry craze started. If you haven't caught my cherry fragrances deep dive video, I have like 60 fragrances in that video, including the 3 different Tom Ford cherry focused fragrances. So go catch that video. But I think Lost Cherry is pretty popular, where it inspired so many, you know, cherry fragrances to be made and to come after. So I think Lost Cherry is definitely very popular, but I haven't seen many fragrances inspired from, you know, for example, Fabulous and maybe Rose Prick. But I think Rose Prick also launched at a time when they were releasing some spicy rose fragrances. Bitter Peach, I'm uncertain. I mean, peach craze has, you know, become popular as well. Like within the last couple of years, there have been some peach fragrances. So it was a bit of a slow start with that fragrance. Vanilla's always been popular. And then now we've got figs. Figs have always been kind of under the radar popular, whereas vanilla is like super popular. So maybe it's going to be time for figs. But I think I'm waiting for Tom Ford to re-release Plum Japonais. I did speak to a few associates at a Tom Ford boutique, and they did mention if they ever brought it back, it would go into that really expensive private blend collection where it only comes in decanters and has those kind of like gold plaques on the front for a label instead of the stickers. So if it comes back, apparently it's going in there, which are really highly priced. So very, very expensive. But I'm hoping that they bring that into the private blend collection again, or maybe launch something with plums again. But going back to Figue Érotique again, it's going to take some time to really appreciate this one. I like it, and I kind of am iffy about it. What are your thoughts on this one? Do add a comment below, and let me know also if you want me to do a full overview of the X-rated fragrances. I'll do a new one, including Vanilla Sex and Figue Érotique, and also Fabulous has a Perfume edition as well, which is very, very expensive. So it makes sense that since they launched the Perfume of Fabulous, maybe Fabulous is still the most popular out of all the X-rated fragrances. But the fact that they launched 2 additional cherry fragrances seems to be that it's the more popular of the bunch. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. You'll be hearing more about Figue Érotique from me. I'll report back on it. I'll let you know if I'm appreciating it more or if it's something that I don't click with or don't you know, crave to spray on myself. But if you've already sampled Figue Érotique, let me know as well. Do add a comment below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Otherwise, please like the video, share it, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.